Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints and snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there, I did not die. Well, this poem has a little bit of a different meaning on Innistrad, doesn't it? To immediately answer the question of this video, there are two things that could happen after death, basically. You continue on, or you get peace. Most of the time on Innistrad you continue on, and this has some more options. Most common are that you turn into a spirit, or you awaken as a zombie. Most common, as these forms of afterlife are most common in Gavany, the province where most humans live. When you burn a body to prevent a zombie from spawning, you get an angry spirit, like we see in Burning Vengeance. You will not live for long, and the spirits on Innistrad are very poetic. They remember a piece of their life, mostly the most dramatic part, which is probably the moment you burned their body, and they will inflict the same fate to you. But there is another, better reason to leave the bodies of the dead alone that's more important to the people of Innistrad than being haunted by a spirit that can set things on fire. This is because the people of Innistrad believe in the blessed sleep, which is basically just a long stretch of infinite nothingness after death, and only the good people get it. Yes, heaven for the people on Innistrad is just nothingness. The people of Thraben even have something that seems nice and disturbing at the same time about this. As the humans on Innistrad want to guide each other to the blessed sleep, they keep the lost ones in graveyards. As they need so many graveyards on Innistrad, they have chosen to make parks over these graveyards, called blessed graves. Here the people of Innistrad just stroll around because it feels nice to be with humans who are sleeping their blessed sleep. They are sleeping and strolling around and playing on a graveyard. And that is why I find cards like Griffin Cavalry so interesting. The art card of this pack shows us an interesting side of Innistrad after everything of value to them is destroyed. We see two Cathars flying on a Griff. At first I just noticed the two riders, where one is training the other to fly. We're flying upwards, which is hard to do for a long time before you crash. The back Cathar is pointing downwards as if she is showing the trainee where to move. But the second aspect that takes us back to our topic is that Griffs on Innistrad stand for the Sigardian hope that the people still have. And this trainee is flying upward towards the white skies, battle ready with their sword held high. While the trainer is showing us to look down into the gloom too, because we need to understand, as we watch this very clever piece from Stephen Prescott, that on Innistrad there is not much room for hope. Like we see here with Mindless Ghoul, a beautifully horrid piece of card with art from Alex Brock. This is what you become after death. No, it's not a mindless ghoul. They do have a mind, which is even more terrifying. No, it is a ghoul that is pressing its tongue through someone's skull to drink from their brain. A mind leech ghoul. In true classical zombie fashion, if we can call this card fashion at all. The card shows us a creature that leeches off of a living human by exploiting it. Then it eats off of your opponent's mind too, showing us the actual endless hunger of the dead. This is interesting to me as endless hunger is a theme for any undead. It is their greed that makes them truly ugly, and that makes us bounce back from them even more. Their insistent will to eat more and more, or drink in this case. This one just ate this human to impress his cool color Gisa, and that might be the worst part about this card, believe it or not. We see more examples where we see that Undying Malice even has a zombie that just came back because they are angry at their killer, showing that we can truly not do anything or risk our own danger on Innistrad, which makes the Cathar that are honest, like the first card we saw, even more brave. We also see Persistent Specimen, which has been put together by assistant of Ludovic, the Master Stitcher, We know that Graal, this assistant, is not skilled at all, and that he failed to put the skeleton's jaw together. But the specimen itself is insistent on coming back this time. Even though Graal is being used in such a disrespectful manner, as we see in the flavor here, Graal adjusts the slurry dispensers, Graal fetch more corpses, Graal quit crying, and so on, because the rest is a bit too dark. Speaking about the dark, here we have weary prisoner locked away in the forested province of Keswick, who is tired from being imprisoned. We see this as they are slumped back against the wall. But it is not only tiredness that we see. No, there is a sense of regret for what is to come, because the prisoner knows. The prisoner seems holy to me as their chest is held high and their shirt looks like the sign of Avacyn. They seem holy in the light of the sun that almost seems to move behind the forest now. As if we shall soon see the moon rise, as the prisoner says, "Your guard attacked me. He got what was coming to him. And now I am coming for you." Yes, the jailer got what he deserved, and now the sun is gone, and so is the wall, and the jail itself for a good measure. The people of Innistrad do not mind being kept. It would seem peaceful. This is why the prisoner felt regret more than tiredness, as if this little moment in the sun was actually more peaceful than the rest of his life, and now he is being bloodthirsty again. Almost as if life on Innistrad is fighting the death that comes after. The people of Keswick even celebrate every year their family stayed in the ground. They call this Death Day the Sleep Revel. This also shows how the Keswick people are honoring the past by being insanely in the moment, ferociously even. Now, in stark contrast to the intensely living werewolves of Keswick and the slow zombies and spirits of Gavany, are the vampires who mostly reside in Stensia, the province that was once a province of hunters and falconers, but was ended in that way to become a province of vampires because the people here ate too much. Here we see an afterlife that is just as ugly as the zombies, but now the vampires are chosen for their skill, yes, but also for their looks, which is a lore reason to make a lot of handsome people in your art. As a vampire, you are not cursed with incessant pain or crumbling body parts. No, you are exactly whole and could stay that way forever. This eternity is now your true enemy, and it is in your head. We see this same struggle in Restless Bloodseeker, the vampire that cannot help but use the life you gain as an opportunity to get a little blood out of it. Even when you do gather blood, you want to sacrifice it to enable this vampire to revel in that same blood. But do note that the main ability has not changed at all. Even though this vampire is reveling in the copious amount of blood they have just taken, they are still looking for more blood. This is not a constant hunger, this is an endless craving that can never be stopped and will only become worse when you feed it. Blood makes vampires go crazy. Most of the time at least. This is why for Olivia's wedding there are new rules. Blood has been gathered for this wedding and it is distributed in the form of vials, the blood tokens, or as blood petals with which we see the celebrant play. These should keep the consumption even, or at least as even as possible, while providing a new type of entertainment, where Olivia can show off her riches which she stole from her own livestock. In fact, most vampires are always looking for moments to hunt, whether for entertainment like with Skulking Killer, who participates in a Voldaren game of hide and seek without the hiding part, or the vampires that look for grudges, like against the living werewolves. Even this does not bring them peace though. Even their cursed sleep in caskets does not help, as we see with Edgar Markov, and in this way the vampires truly never rest. Even the vampire security cannot withhold from being aggressive. They attack your guests when they miss an invitation, or so the card implies, which is different from the story. They even demand a blood sacrifice from you to pay them to grow in strength as they attack your potential guests. Being a vampire might even make you incompetent at what your purpose is, as we see here. We have one more region to look at in terms of how to die on Innistrad, which is Nephalia. the province of rivers and of the mighty seas, where demons and monsters lurk that are older than any other demon on Innistrad. Here your ship will definitely sink, and when you sink you will definitely drown. There's no coming back when you enter these lands. People, spirits and vampires often come looking here to be alone, but the depths never let go of their victims. They grapple and tire you out as you are lost at sea or in the mist. You will lose all your energy before you will be either swallowed or converted. The sea converts you into something like this, or into a cultist sometimes, or maybe a spirit, but that would technically mean you died. But let's say you were a zombie. I would say you are lucky, because having a kraken that has become a zombie in front of you and only then realizing that it can come on land, now as it does not even need to breathe underwater anymore, that is a fate that will take a little too long. You will have to watch the kraken realize that they can go out of the water. You will have to probably be eaten after this, and then when even a bit of you stays whole, you will turn into a zombie that was slung into the ocean, and you will probably never reach land again. And you will get salt in your wounds literally as you struggle to wobble back ashore. Yes, I can imagine better fates. I am not sure whether being eaten by a frog is better than being eaten by a zombie kraken. I think I would prefer it, but Gronok does seem very slimy. Let's think about this. Gronok is a 3/3 frog that lets you mill cards whenever a frog attacks. You heard me right, this is a frog tribal card. Then whenever you exile a permanent, you exile them with a croak counter on it, which is cute and also means that your permanent was eaten by this frog. Yes, it could eat Emrakul for example. Then you may play lands and cast spells from Gronok's belly. See, it's not bad, you will always survive being in Gronok's belly as long as they survive. This also means that once you are in Gronok's belly, you will want to root for Gronok the Omniphore. Now to recap, you could become a vampire in Stantia, you could be alive but cursed in Keswick, you could become a trapped soul in Nephalia, or a zombie in Gavany. My pick would always be to be eaten by Gronok anyways, and I think we need to dive a little deeper into this. So now you know where to go on Innistrad, find Gronok. Oh, also our token slot had a General Kudro in it from Ikoria. I have chosen not to include this in this video, but if you want, I can deep dive him too.